Just waiting for some people to show up. Oh, hey, people are showing up. Sunday Smokes episode 3. We're doing it different today. It's not going to be however long it takes me to smoke 2 pipes. It's going to be how long it takes me to smoke this cigar, which I forgot a cutter for. So, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Duck, Paul, good to see you in here. There we go. Oh no, he's using a Zippo. I like Zippos. Boom. Yeah, I like a good cigar now and then. I'm not one of those guys that, I have to have. I'm not religious about it or anything like that. But I like them now and then. This is a nub cigar. It's a nub, but this thing still takes like half hour, 45 minutes. And they are tasty. Okay, so your real cigar aficionados are going to want to use like a butane torch kind of lighter, and you never touch the flame to the tobacco or anything because it imparts a flavor onto it. Me, I smoke enough as it is that it's like charcoal versus propane. I can't taste the difference, and that's going to really upset a lot of people, but plus, Zippos are just cool. Okay, this is the 1941 replica Zippo, and the Zippo pipe lighters are nice. They don't. I'm on a 3rd floor balcony right now, so I get some serious crosswind. And honestly, most of the time that I am lighting a pipe, I use a Bic. I know, sacrilege, Bic. But they work, they're a soft flame, and this one has Stakes and a Basset Hound on it, courtesy of my lovely wife. Paul, I'm glad you're here. Other Paul, rather. So, we have some actual topics for today, and that's exciting. First, just to get it out of the way, one suggested topic was, is the SA35 a good high-power clone? And yes, overall, I think it takes the high power and makes it what it should have been, meaning it gets rid of the magazine disconnect. There's some things I'd like them to do differently, but namely, like factory thread locker for the set screw in the rear sight, because mine kept walking out. So other than that, I like the SA35 just fine. I just don't like high powers as much as I like 1911s. I mean, we discussed this last week, so there's that. Yeah, as you can see, this is going to take a while. So now that we've got that out of the way, I should have wrote these topics down. I didn't, so I'm working off of memory here. Another good one was Bics do. They absolutely work. And you know the best part about them? They're cheap. You know, anything is better than the FN HIGH power. That is just poopy. We don't. It's a high power for Glock people, and I'm not about that life. I want my blued steel. You know, when I did the initial impressions live, the first live I ever did back last October, I think it was Paul the History Dude that asked for the pistol whip value, and I had took the SA-35 and my 1985, and I kind of, you know, they're about it retained the pistol whip value, and that's what really matters in a high power clone. So, yes. Plus that, like, FN, I don't want to call it, like, checkering. It's like, I don't know what that texture is, but it's stupid. I mean, if you're wearing gloves thick enough to require that kind of texturing on the grip, maybe you should get off your snowmobile before you decide to shoot it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Besides, we're 1911 people here. We like 1911s. We like Commander 1911s. And you know what? We'll throw some revolvers in just because Browncoat showed up. We're talking about revolvers now. No, we talked a lot about revolvers last week, so. So yeah, the SA-35 is okay. The new FN high power is big poopy. The Grisson high powers are probably going to outsell both because they brought in the tactical features that about half of the high power fanboys want, which I think is not why most people are looking for a high power. Even if they say they want these modern features, we like the classic lines of the high power. You know what? I'm doing okay. It's hot out. I'm sitting outside with a cigar. I got a Dr. Pepper. Life is good. Life is good. Guns and watches. I know you love a good revolver. You have quite a few that I want. Yes, Duck. Yes, it is. It is big stupid. Let me throw this out before I inadvertently litter. You said that, Browncoat, you said that about revolvers last week, and I'm not about it. Some things are meant to be tactical, and other things are just silly. Another topic that was brought up in the story poll, I guess, was who would win in a fight? Arnie from Commando or Arnie from Predator? So, Arnie from Commando had the tooling available to win just about any fight. But Arnie from Predator had the resourcefulness to just take the jungle and makes things. But I think we all know the real winner of this fight would be Arnie from Terminator 2. Hi, Bob. Doing all right over there? Kindergarten Cop is a strong contender. For determination alone, we're also going to throw Jingle All the Way into the mix here. So, that is a good point with Last Action here. You know what was a wonderful Arnie movie was The Last Stand, because it's his same movie from the 80s just made in the 2000s. So there's like quality, like high quality imaging. So that deserves to be a part of this conversation. What about Bob? Jump in here. What's which Arnie is your favorite? No opinion. Okay. Conan's good. Conan is good. He knows what's good in life. That yes, unintelligible Austrian grunting. That is pretty much Arnie. How did we not talk about Total Recall yet? That's a good one. You know, just going to Mars and talking to Hank Schrader about getting the air turned back on. You know who I think would win the Arnie, the battle of the Arnies, would be the one from that clip where he's talking about smoking cigars because I am a stud. Yeah, that is the Arnie that would win. You know, I'm sure if you're in the right town, you could see three boobs here on Earth. No need to commute to Mars for that. So, another another topic that was brought up was touching grass. And you know what? You should. We should be outside. I can't touch those trees right now, but I'm going to go for a walk later and I'm going to touch some grass with my hand because I don't walk outside barefoot. It's not safe. Other topics that you guys can throw questions in here too. You know, I'm not limiting the topics of discussion to what you know people posted in my stories because three of them were for the same guy. Looking at you, Paul. Oh no, my bro. Why would you anger the Hornets? I know that just like existing on the same planet angers them, but oh no. Speaking of which, Tactical Bros brought up another really, really good topic to discuss, and that is the reality of carry handles versus risers. And you know what? My thought on this is super simple. You're really going to pay, you know, however much money. We'll say the average being like $250 to put a riser on your flat top to mount an optic to, when you could pay however much, assume not right now as, you know, inflated prices, but significantly less to get the original riser that has an integral rear sight and, you know, comes with a receiver. Carry handles are the way. That's my thought on the reality of a carry handle versus a riser. Ideal simple breakfast: hash browns, eggs, rye toast, and coin toss between spicy breakfast sausage or bacon. That's okay. That's my at-home version. Best at a diner. Bob, you're going to be the only one here that knows what I'm talking about. Miss Batavia, ham and cheese omelet, rye toast. You know. You know. And a convenient way to carry it right there. Not if you're a Marine. Because if you touch the carry handle and you have stepped on the yellow footprints, just every bone in your hand will break. It just happens. Detachable carry handles have their place. Now, I think it was Blue Jean Operator a while back said a detachable carry handle is like wearing a big, obnoxious trucker hat that says, "I'm cool." And he's got a point. But you know what? Some of us don't just have carry handle uppers. I have one, my BRN 16 A1, and I love it just fine, but I also really like A2 sights, which will be a nice segue into the next topic. But the detachables have their place. My A4 is effectively an A2 because I have no intention of ever removing the carry handle. Corned beef hash. Bob, forgive me. Corned beef hash, I could take it or leave it. You know, I'm not... It's not my favorite thing in the world. Going to touch my carry handles to flex on the Marines. Well, you know... Okay. I'm going to go drink excessively now. Because I'm a Marine and I can't touch the carry handle. Just got another A2 marked detachable yesterday. Now I can stack them. There you go. There you go. Pull a firing device electrical M57 and carry handle your carry handles. Maybe that'll allow a Marine to touch it. We might have to do some science later. Hey, real quick, last week there was an issue with my beard rubbing on the microphone. So does it sound like it's you, me, and sandpaper right now, or have we alleviated that situation? Put the detachable permanently on my T91 upper. That is a baller move. I'm about it. We're going to Americanize the T91s with carry handles. Everyday carried blades, action if any, blade style, or brands. Okay, so I'm not a super duper knife guy. I've got my Gerber Emerson design that I was gifted while I was in Iraq, and that is super cool. But for two reasons I don't carry it on me. Is lots of sentimental value, so I'm terrified of losing it. And two, it would be my luck to get stopped by the one cop that actually cares about the blade length. And where I live, if it's over 3.5 inches, it's no good. Not whatever. My everyday carry is this right here, what I use to prep my cigar with. We have a Gerber Paraframe 1. This thing costs $16 at Walmart. It's about as dull as afternoon tea, but you know what it does? It opens mail. It cuts through things. I'm going to catch flack for this one. I don't see a knife as a viable defensive tool for average Joe, because average Joe isn't trained in how to use a knife. It's not going to go well. Knife fighting is close up. It is brutal. It is just not good for anybody. And so I don't consider this is a utility tool. This is not a weapon, in my opinion. I still carry a $100 Kershaw. Cavalry Saber is in the chat. Yes. I'll go get my NCO sword out of the closet. Fucker 74. One knife that I have that's kind of cool is it's a vintage Western Imperial. I believe it's from the 80s. It's just a old school jackknife like your dad or your granddad might have carried, and that is honestly one of my favorite knives. I carry that when I'm feeling a little more old school, when I'm carrying a 1911 in leather or one of my revolvers or something like that. Was not talking as far as a weapon. Sorry about that, Bob. I kind of default to a genre, and that is it. What about Asian Joe who owns the vape store in Las Vegas? I think he got lucky, or he knows some super duper kung fu that we're not privy to. That's one thing about, like, be it knife fighting or gun fighting, sustained combat, whatever. People don't like to acknowledge just how much luck plays into it. You can train all day and for years, every day. Some dudes just got to get lucky once. So, yeah. This isn't to say don't train. This is just saying there are certain things we need to acknowledge. What I was saying a second ago about A2 sights, that's segueing into another topic of discussion, A1 versus A2 sights. So, I learned on A2 sights my entire professional career using a rifle was, if I was using irons, they were A2s. I prefer A2s. Now, a lot of people say that A1s are better because there's the one knob, and you can't just mess with it or whatever. And my counter to that is, have you tried not messing with your sights? I get why people like A1s better. I think an A1 sight with an A2 aperture is money, but my personal preference is an A2. You have to be lucky every time. We only have to be lucky once. The IRA. Yes, I still love that people think that that's a Thatcher quote. They don't realize it was for her, not from her. But yeah, A2 sights are, if I'm going irons on an AR, A2s are my go-to. There's nothing wrong with A1s. I just prefer the way A2s go. Now, one thing that I have come to realize is precious few people can truly appreciate the M16A2, and the overwhelming majority of them are Marines, because that's our baby. That is ours. That target rifle is ours. So, and people will be, saying, oh, go eat your crayons or whatever. Oh, well, we also adopted the 416, so there's that. And I think I've spouted off my opinions on all the topics that were. If you suggested a topic in my story, and I haven't talked about it yet, just let me know, and I'll give you my crappy opinion. Other than that, what are we smoking today? We got a Nub Connecticut. These are super duper tasty. Nice light smoke, kind of bready. I almost grabbed a Maduro, but I just wasn't feeling Maduro today. So, it kind of is what it is. So long as we're in between topics right now, next Friday is Iron Sight Division and Classic Division for Cornfield Brutality. out at Big Springs Shooting Range in Searsboro, Iowa, just like 10 minutes south of Grinnell. I am super excited. I'm not going to do well, but my real goals for that match are to not get DQ'd and to have fun, in that order. So, I think I got this. I will accomplish my goals. But, no, super duper excited for that. I'm going to do some posts this week on what I'm going to be using, and, shill for the homies and stuff like that. Paul, I told you about it. You had time. You can't be jealous. But next year, Paul, you are going to go to Cornfield Brutality. We're going to hang out. It's going to be a great time. I got what? What do I got, Bob? You're poor. I'm poor too. But we've got a whole year to plan for it. Okay? Don't be giving me your excuses. Let's run Partisan next year. I'll run the Goose. You run the Delta Carbine. Most recent good movies I've seen. Well, I saw Jurassic World Dominion on my birthday. That was fantastic. Not my favorite of the Jurassic franchise, but I didn't hate it as much as Jurassic Park 3, so there's that. I've got kicking butt in that comp. No, I don't, because I am not fast. Nor am I as good a shot as I like to think I am. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to get someone to not steal my phone, so they'll video me while I'm running stages. But I'm gonna have two speeds: slow and really slow. Deal, but I need to buy another dot for the Delta. You know what? Just a pro. Depending on how things go for me, I might actually have a pro for you. We'll see. But that's a big depending on how things go. Because ACOG is life. But no, we'll do that. We'll rock some Hub City Outdoors raid mods. It'll be a good time. Well, I do believe that I'm going to accomplish my goals, Bob, which is not get DQ'd and have a good time. I'm going to be out of my house for the weekend, so good time, check. Already done. No, it's going to be a fun time. I can sense it. Making wontons and using... Bro, put some of those in a bubble mailer and send them to me. I want some wontons. See if I can do this without burning myself here. Ha! Gotcha. Add that to the jar. I've got a jar that I just put all my cigar bands in, even if I've already smoked it or whatever, like smoked that brand and style or whatever. They all go in the same jar. Wontons and ramen do sound kind of good right now. I think we're just doing burgers tonight, kind of a lazy dinner, but whatever. Tomorrow it's supposed to drop to the low 80s, so we're taking advantage of it and doing a pasta night. Which, the fact that I can say it's going to drop to the low 80s and that's cool enough to do pasta night, really makes me sad. This is not the kind of weather I want to be in. And Florida boys be punching air right now because I said that. Wings and beer, my man. I was just talking to some homies earlier about beer and pizza, and being from Western New York, I wouldn't say that I have good taste in pizza. I would say I have very specific taste in pizza. You'll take a burger any day. Well, these are just the frozen hockey pucks from Walmart, so yeah. Chicago deep dish is not a pizza. That is a casserole. Thin crust is like ground beef away from being a taco. I like buffalo pizza. Now that's not hot sauce and fried chicken on dough with cheese. That's what people think of. What I'm talking about is Buffalo, New York. Thank you, Bob. Buffalo, Western New York style pizza it's a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of a sweeter sauce. It uses cup and char pepperoni. The cheese will physically fight you when you try to pick your slice up, and it doesn't have a thin crust like New York City. It's there's a lot of dough around the edge, thick fluffy crust. That's right. But it's not like full to the brim like a deep dish is. But toppings and sauce do go right over the edge of the crust if the maker knows what they're doing. Buffalo is truly a unique style of pizza, and it is objectively the best. Okay, so because this is such a polarizing discussion, I am going to put my opinion out there for everybody. I do like pineapple on pizza. But I'm not one of those people that worships it. I only do this because people are so rabidly against it. And it's just kind of fun to stir that pot. So pineapple on pizza, it's not even an every single time I have pizza thing. I like it. I don't love it. So that's my take on that. Anything goes on pizza, you just don't have to eat it. Well, this is true. And just like discussing, deep dish versus New York versus Buffalo, whatever, there's good pizza and there's not good pizza, so. The Pacific Rim from Mellow Mushroom is bomb. I don't know what that means. Ordered a Khyber Pass AK Russian, like from the actual Khyber Pass? Because, if that's where it came from, I don't want to know about it, because we can't do that. Can't do that. Bob, you're correct. Pizza is like sex. Even if it's bad, still had pizza. That is a fact. I believe that is Little Caesar's business model. Is that right there? We're getting there. We're getting there, gang. Unless it's prison. Well, that's where deep dish comes into play. So we're talking a lot about pizza and not a lot about guns, which is what we usually do. Somehow this happened. I don't understand it. The only problem with pineapple on pizza, former pizza makers. I mean, I make it at home. I've never professionally made a pizza, so I don't really know how the hard to cook well goes. I know what I like, and I don't know. But as I try to steer things back towards guns, it's like certain finishes, like black tea that Springfield uses or used. It's a good finish, but apparently it's a royal pain to do right. So, any new handguns that I'm looking forward to? Well, I mean, there's nothing like imminent or pending, but yeah, I really want a single action army. Smith models 1966. You know, we're still waiting on those ones from that one from Cheating Death Guns. When that gets here, oh man! So I guess that is imminent. It's just the when is a question mark. It's because of the moisture gets everything. Well, that's what she said. Do I want the Laugo alien? I mean, that's a cool one, but it like it's not my style, man. It's not my vibe. I like the more old school stuff. I'd love to shoot one, but I'm not gonna. Even if it wasn't the price that it's at, I probably still wouldn't buy one just because that's not my gig. Just like CZs, they're great guns. I ain't gonna buy one. If I was gonna get a CZ, it would be like an old CZ 52 because those things look kind of cool. But Staccato P, I don't know much about staccatos. Early Colt good suggestions for a little bigger thumb safety for a early Colt Combat Commander in stainless. I think what most people call just the tactical safety. It's a little longer, so about yay long, about the length of my fingernail, and then it's a little wider, maybe twice as wide as your standard little nub safety. You know, like you'll have on the Springfield Garrison or an operator or whatever. Those are good. They're bigger, lots more room to get your thumb on, but they are still out of the way when it's holstered. You know, that's what I would look at. Just look for like tactical thumb safety on Brownells, and kind of go down the rabbit hole from there. So long as it's not a MIM part. Now, most places aren't going to advertise that, but some, you know, not all parts are created equal. Pre-B CZ75s are sweet as hell. You know, I've handled the CZ75 and I like the feel of it. What gets me with CZ is how the slide nests inside the frame versus the other way around, like on like every other pistol ever. And while as I understand it, that lends itself to accuracy, but for me, it makes it, you know, difficult to get a grip on the slide because there's a lot less slide for my giant hands to get a hold of. Got to shoot something really cool yesterday. I think lightweight 9mm going 1,500 feet per second. I'm interested. What do you got? We're getting near to the end of this cigar, gang. Offline. Is that a typo or I just don't? Offline. I don't know. Is this a secret? Is that why we're... I'm confused. Doing me a bamboozle. Oh, okay. I got you. It's a secret. I'm I already talked about it, but I'm super excited for Cornfield Brutality. There will be... Sorry, I keep touching my face. I'm really sweaty. There will be lots of posts this week and even more posts next week. Next Sunday's episode is probably going to exclusively talk about Cornfield Brutality. Yeah, and what I used, how it went, and all that. How do you go to that event? Cornfield? Well, for any brutality match, first and foremost, you have to be part of... to really be sure that you're going to get a spot, you need to be part of In Range TV's Patreon. Then you go on to Practice Score and you register for the event. It's that easy. I honestly thought I wasn't going to get a chance to go. And then I just, on a whim, after GunCon, I looked it up and I saw there were spots open. And I'm like, well, hey. So I registered for it, and I did the Patreon bit. I went to Practice Score, registered, and now I'm going. It's nice for me because it's like just shy of 3 hours away. So there's that. I got one more trip this year after Cornfield Brutality, but we're going to talk about that once it gets a little closer. And what are you going to be running, or did I miss it? I haven't really publicly said what I'm going to be running. I'm going to do posts on that this coming week as I, hype myself up even more for it. So just kind of keep an eye on my feed. I am running the Assault Rifle Irons division. And I didn't name it, so don't come at me with the Assault Rifle nonsense. But, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I got Kalash Bash and Partner Force match coming, my two big events. Yeah, I've been watching Kalash Bash for years. I kind of want to go, but at the same time, I own an AK to say I own one. I don't actually care about it. So, they're neat, but I will, between the two, I will always choose an AR over an AK. Guys. Oh, nope, we still got some life in it. Still going. Finally builds an AR. I shot 9mm PCC at GunCon. I think it was from New Frontier Armory. It's their one. It's got a side charger and took MP5 mags, but it was an AR, and it was kind of neat. I get it. I get why people like them now. But then I went over to the Elevated Silence booth and or table, whatever, and I shot their SP5, and I promptly took any ideas of a AR PCC and threw them away. Gib MP5. SKS, please. I miss that crappy Yugo SKS. I miss it. Maybe one day, if I ever happen into an SKS for cheap, I'll go full Chi-Com out there on the range. M1 carbine is best PCC. This is objectively true, but MP5 is coolest PCC. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, which M1? The Garand, the carbine, the helmet, the Abrams? Well, which M1? There's lots of them. You have to be specific amongst us nerds. M1 carbine with a couple boxes of raisins is my hill-taking loadout. Well, an M1 carbine with a pocket full of Tootsie Rolls is my hill-keeping loadout. Alright, it's not that the cigar went out, it's that my fingers were starting to burn, but we're going to keep talking for a minute. Abrams for life. Full auto suppressed MP5 is best. Dude, if you get a chance to look at the, I don't know if they've actually released them yet, but the 9mm, I think it's a 3D printed titanium can from Elevated Silence. That's what they had on their SP5 out there, and that thing was stupid quiet. So, that said, if I had a chance to shoot like an MP5 SD, of course, I would opt for that because it's an MP5 SD. Just need to buy some raisins and make a post and see how many. Yeah, do that. There's a good post idea from one Paul to another. I need to get an M1 carbine, but I want to get like an auto ordnance or something so I can beat the living crap out of it and not feel bad. I imagine that's what an MP5 SD would do to someone, would be change their life. Be it for better or shorter, it's going to change their life. The SP5 I shot at GunCon was it was the second HK I ever fired. Yes, I'm still gonna say it. The first HK I ever fired was about a half an hour before that, and it was an MP7. So, I get it. I get why people think those things are cool. So, there's that. What else we got? We're officially in overtime because I finished the cigar, but I've heard that, but then there's things like the G3, so I don't know how much roller delay blowback plays into it. You got an FAL you need to build? Yes, you do need to build it. My thoughts on battle rifles go, I either want to go full stupid with an M14, or I want like an HK 417 assaulter. There is no in between. So, I suppose a G3 clone would be super cool. Someday. I've got... I need more room for all this crap. This is objective fact. Bula Defense makes the best M14. I can vouch for that. They, in my opinion, there is no contest. Fulton Armory can tune an M14, but they, Bula is the best off-the-shelf M14. Go straight to 4570. Don't tempt me with 4570. I've been playing some RDR lately, and the need for a trapdoor is strong right now. Like, really strong. I need either a Springfield trapdoor or an 1873, and I need a single action army. These are not wants, they are needs. And anyone that says I wouldn't conceal carry a single action army, bet. All I've got for lever guns is my two 1894s, one made in the mid-90s and the other made in 1905, which is cool because that's it's a 32 Winchester Special, but it's still a 20-inch barrel, so it's what they call a short rifle. Same size as my 94 angle eject. So they sit next to each other, and it's so aesthetically pleasing seeing them next to each other like that. So I clearly need more 1894s, is what I need. Paul, I thought it was 5090 was the OG, and then they dropped it to 4570 to make it a little more manageable. Either way, people talk all day about 4570 being a Buffalo cartridge, and that's not. The original Buffalo cartridge is a 45-120. Order a JMac break and have recut. Oh my god. Do a JMac LAF on your 4570. Do it. I should get, if I got a 4570 that was not a trapdoor, it would probably be we're gonna hold you to that. Everyone here sees it. You're doing it. I would try to find an 1886 clone, because I'm not paying for an original, and the problem is it seems difficult to find an 1886 clone that has a straight stock rather than a pistol grip. And if you're going to get a cowboy gun, get a cowboy gun, not curved lever pistol grip nonsense. Yeah, a JMac LAF on a 4570 would be super stupid, and I'm about it. Trapdoor would be fun as hell. Yes, it would. I really want to get one of the Uberti ones, but I want an 1873 more. I suppose we'll see how that plays out. C Sharps makes an 1886 Winchester clone. I am going to have to look into that, because so far I've looked at like Uberti, Winchester, and Pedersoli, but I'll check out CS Sharps. Low power variable or just a red dot? That's a flip a coin situation. Yeah, I mean, it's a 4570 with an LAF. Put on what you think is going to survive. 1873 is best cowboy gun. Yes, I agree. Paired with a single action army, and both in 45 Colt. Sight mark reverse EOTech. Oh god. Let's not get too stupid with this. Clearly a Strike Eagle is what you should put on there. I have not seen Garand Thumb's tactical lever gun video today yet, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I haven't, see how long it would hold up against recoil. I'm actually thinking it would hold up longer than we expect, but this is why you're conducting this experiment, so we can learn these things. It survives long enough to chamber the first round. Alrighty. Well, I think that's about it, gang. We're gonna wrap this up here. 4570 isn't bad, like a 12 gauge. You know what? I was about 9 years old the first time I ever shot a 4570, and I would disagree. I need the 500 grain solid cast. You're just into pain, aren't you, brown coat? Alright, that's enough of that. We're getting weird. We're going to wrap this up now. Thank you all for stopping by. It was a great chat. And next week, hopefully, around 2 Central is when we'll start. About, same as always, we're going to be talking Cornfield brutality. And we'll go from there. Y'all take it easy. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And enjoy wontons or burgers or whatever you happen to be having for dinner. And we'll catch y'all next week.